Okay, in this tutorial, I'm just going to go over using the text tool and how to go about manipulating text that you've created using layer style effects, and also how to embed or install fonts using the Mac. So I've just got a blank document here. What I'm going to do is select my text tool down here, which is at the moment on my horizontal type tool. If I hold down the left mouse button, you'll notice that I have a variety of different options in here. We have the horizontal type tool, vertical type tool. We also have a horizontal type mask tool and a vertical type mask tool. So I'm going to begin by having a look at the horizontal text tool. With that selected, you'll notice my properties bar up here. I have the options of being able to select fonts. I can change the size or weighting of the font. I can choose various different kind of stylistic properties for the text, and I can also look at the alignment here between centre, left or right justified. This is where I can select the colour for my text. I can do this. I can also apply my colour down here. If I was just to double click on the foreground colour, I can select colour or use a colour tab over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reset my foreground and background colour to a default and use black for the colour for the text. So I'm just going to, first of all, I'll use a standard easy to read font. Just go right up to the top here. Okay, so we'll go with Arial. I'm just going to click with my cursor and I'll just type my name. Oh. Okay, now with the move tool selected, I can move the text about, and you'll notice that it's been generated on a layer of its own, and it's represented here by this T, which means that it's editable, similar to working with shapes or paths or vector paths. This is now in an editable state. Okay, so it's got the same kind of properties or vector-like qualities or properties to it. Now, you'll notice that my property bar has disappeared up here for the text tool because I'm no longer on the text tool. So all I can really do at this stage is move it about or apply or transform to it. Now, if I was to do that, if I use my Command T as a shortcut or go to Edit Free Transform, I can hold down Shift and scale the text, okay, and commit to that transform. Okay, so I can do that to increase the size. However, step back the way. Another way of doing that, or better way rather of doing that, would be to properly change the weighting and the point size of it. Now, with my text tool selected, if I choose to select the text, if you watch the cursor as I move closely towards the text, you'll notice it changes, okay? Now, when it changes to this, what it's saying is that I'm inside this text box area, so it means I can click and drag across it, and it's now ready for me to start editing. For example, if I was to change the colour, I'll do it up here, and click off, that's me now changed the colour, okay? I can select it and change the weighting of the text. Now, this is saying it's going up to 72. I can make that larger if I want just by typing in here. Okay, so I'll take that down and make it about 90 just now. I can change the justification as well. Keep it centered at the moment. Now, if I just give you an example here, noticing that this cursor is changing. If I try and click and drag to select my text, what I've done is, if you notice here, I've generated a new layer, which is what I don't want, so I'm just going to delete that. So you need to be careful that when you're looking to select your tool, or the text rather, you are watching for this icon, or the text tool changing. Okay. Now let's have a look at some of the other areas up here, or properties that are available to the text. We can jump between strong, smooth, crisp, okay? And you see how that's having an effect on the edges of the text. Along here we have our option to be able to apply kind of a warp to the text, and there's a variety of different styles of presets here. These wee icons will give you an indication of what's going to happen to the text when you apply them. So choose this wave one, for example, and we have the option of being able to change this vertically or horizontally. We can also play about with the settings, horizontal and vertical distortion. Okay, so do something like that. I'm just going to OK that. That's been applied to the text. Now, similar to earlier on, as I was saying, these properties are embedded within this layer. They can be changed at any point. So I can take that off if I wish. Okay, because it's still an editable layer, similar to you know, our shapes and paths as I explained earlier on. Okay, I'm going to OK that. And I'm going to look at applying some layer styles. So if I double click on the layer, just at the side there we have my layer styles, a variety of different options in here. Okay, now checking these boxes, all that's going to do is turn them on in their default setting. If you want to edit them, you actually need to click on the layer. It's similar to your layers. Click here on the option itself. So it's checked the box for me, but what it's also done is opened up the properties panel here within the drop shadow. So that's going to allow me to edit the drop shadow to my liking, changing the colour, the blend mode, etc. If I was to go to my stroke and apply an outline, again, it's ticked it, it's applied the default. I can uncheck this to see the difference, or I can tick preview on and off. Handy to have that on so you can see what it's going to look like. I can choose the weighting and strength of my stroke here in pixels, adjust the opacity of it, change the colour if I wish. Loads of different styles available within this layer style panel. And remember that these aren't only applicable to text layers, you can apply them to a variety of different images or any layer for that matter. So if I OK that, you'll notice that these effects have now been embedded within this layer under this effects icon. That can be collapsed and also turned on or off, or individually turned on or off. If you wish to delete them, you can grab the effects, drag it down to the bin, and that would get rid of them. These styles can also be copied from one layer to another. So if I was to create another piece of text, and I'm going to use the vertical type tool this time, I'm just going to click down and use my move tool just to move this out of the way. I'm going to go back to this layer here and just move it slightly to the side so we can see. Okay, now if I wanted to apply the exact same layer style that I've used here, there's two ways of doing this. I can right click and I can copy layer style, and then go to this layer, right click and paste layer style, and that's going to apply the same layer style that I've used. Okay, if I undo that step backwards, what I'm going to do is click on here, and you'll notice that I'm inside this the layer style that I've created for this layer with the stroke and the drop shadow. What I can do is I can save this as a new style or as a preset. If I click on new style, it's going to allow me to name it, and it's including these layer style effects. So I'm just going to name it Mark for just now and hit OK. So I'm going to OK that for just now, and under your styles tab here, if I scroll down, should have a new one that's been generated. Hover over these, they should have a wee name that pops up. Doesn't seem to be doing so at the moment. If I click on this one, there you go. So you can see that that's Mark. So it's already applied to this layer. So if I click on this layer and select Mark, you'll notice that it's the exact same as what I've already used earlier on, as it's been saved and named under this style tab. These are all presets that could be used as well on your layers. Okay, now one thing that we're going to have a look at is being able to embed or install a font that you might have downloaded from the internet. So I'm just going to drag this window aside so you can see what I've done here is I've downloaded this font called Orange Juice, and you can see that I've got this the .ttf file, and that's the one that I want to embed or install within my fonts folder. So if I right click on this option and go to open with, I can open it in my font book, and when I click on that, I think I might have done this already, so the font book is down here. It should open up like this, and it's going to ask me if I wish to install the font. By clicking on that, I've now installed the font into the font book, which will allow me to access it. So if I go back into Photoshop, what I'm going to do is use the text tool, vertical text tool. I'm going to select this layer, this text layer that I've created. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to see if I can try and find that. Now it's called Orange Juice, so a quick way of doing that would just be typing in the text box. There we go. And it's now applied to that layer. Okay, so that's one way of doing it in a Mac. In order to do it in a PC, you would need to install the fonts into your fonts folder, which you would find under your C drive, Windows, fonts, and then drag and drop the fonts in, and that would install it for you. Okay, so that's a quick introduction into creating text using the vertical and horizontal text tool, using the warp tool, changing between your justifications or alignment for your text, and applying some layer styles to your text.